Did Kevin Costner really try to sabotage Tombstone? Kevin Costner tried to sabotage Tombstone in favor of his own Wyatt Earp film. In a pivotal Game 4 matchup in the 1996 World Series, with the New York Yankees looking to tie the series and the Atlanta Braves looking to take a commanding 3-1 series lead, Jim Leyritz sabotaged a number of fastballs from the Braves' all-star closer, Mark Wohlers, before hitting a game-tying 3-run home run in the 8th inning. Later, with the game still tied in the 11th inning and runners on second and third, Braves manager Bobby Cox tried to sabotage the Yankees by intentionally walking Yankee all-star Bernie Williams with 2 outs and the light-hitting Andy Fox due up next. Fox had pinch run earlier for Cecil Fielder. The left-hand Steve Avery was pitching, and Cox figured the Yankees wouldn't use their last pinch hitter, the left-hand Wade Boggs, who had struggled against lefties that postseason, hence him being on the Yankees bench. However, Yankee manager Joe Torre then sabotaged the Braves by pinch-hitting Boggs, who got a go-ahead walk. In the bottom of the inning, Torre once again sabotaged the Braves by leaving in lefty Graham Lloyd to strike out the Braves' Ryan Klesko, who struggled against left-hand pitching. The Yankees won the game, and then went on to win the World Series. So, as you might imagine, you would never actually describe any of those things above as sabotage, as they were just normal examples of two opposing teams trying to defeat the other, and yet, for some reason, a legend has perpetuated that Kevin Costner tried to sabotage the 1993 hit film Tombstone because he had his own Wyatt Earp-themed film, Wyatt Earp, coming up. Here is why that is an unreasonable legend that has somehow stuck. Where did the claim that Kevin Costner sabotaged Tombstone come from? As you may or may not know, Kevin Costner was originally attached to star in Tombstone, but he and the film's original director/screenwriter, Kevin Jarre, had a conflict over the direction of the film. Costner wanted the film to concentrate on Up alone, while Jarre's conception of the film featured many different characters. Amusingly, after Jarre was fired from the director of Tombstone, one of the first things that happened with the film was the reduction of the supporting roles in the film to concentrate more on the friendship between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. So Costner went off to do his own Wyatt Earp project. Initially, he planned to do it as a miniseries, as he really wanted to dive deep on Earp as a person, and Dan Gordon wrote a script for the concept as a miniseries, but it ultimately became a film, with Lawrence Kasdan, who Costner had worked with on another Western, Silverado, rewriting Gordon's script into a film screenplay. It still ended up being very long. Well, you might very well know that in Hollywood, there often seems to be multiple similar projects in the works at the same time, and there certainly have been numerous examples of things like that happening, like Armageddon and Deep Impact coming out the same year, but a much more common thing is for Hollywood to not want to do a project if someone else is already doing it, especially if the other project involves a major star. That exact thing had happened to Jarre when a Dracula project he had been working on in 1991 was abandoned by the studio when Francis Ford Coppola announced that he was doing a Dracula project that became 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula. So, he told EW that Costner doing a rival Wyatt Earp film was an attempt to crush my picture. That's an important thing to keep in mind, the idea that Jarre, remembering how his Dracula project fell apart because of a rival Dracula project, saw Costner's rival project as an attempt to crush his. But that's the thing. Did Costner likely know that there was a chance that him doing a rival Wyatt Earp project at the height of his fame might lead to Jarre's Earp project being abandoned? Of course. But is that really sabotage? Did Kevin Costner actually sabotage Tombstone? There definitely was politics involved. Kurt Russell said as much when he noted that his agents at Creative Artists Agency, CAA, did not give him the script for Tombstone, and it had to be his former agent back at William Morris that sent him the script, telling him, as Russell recalled, "There's a script that I'm aware of that you should do. But there's a lot of politics involved here." The politics was that Costner was doing another Wyatt Earp film, and CAA, naturally, was going to support Costner, who was one of its biggest clients. However, again, Russell did the movie. He was a CAA client and he did Tombstone. So, obviously, CAA did not prevent him from doing the movie. Similarly, Russell explained that Jarre told him that Costner had used his fame to keep other studios from being willing to distribute Tombstone. Russell recalled to Henry Cabot Beck in True West magazine, which is where the previous quote is from as well, Costner, who was doing Wyatt Earp for Warner Brothers, had shut down all avenues of release for the picture except for Disney, except for Buena Vista. He was powerful enough at the time, which I always respected. I thought it was good hardball. And that was the story, and some part of it was true, because the only place we were going to release that picture was through Buena Vista. That much I knew. I was told that by Kevin Jarre. Jarre said, "We're dead in the water any place but Buena Vista." See, I have no doubt that Russell was, in fact, told that by Jarre. But again, think about how Hollywood works, and think about Jarre's specific experience at that point in time. He had just lost a project due to a bigger name doing a similar project just a few years earlier. Similarly, it is true that most Hollywood studios would not be interested in a film if a big star like Kevin Costner was doing a similar idea for a major studio like Warner Brothers. That's not sabotage, though. That's just normal Hollywood competition. Kevin Costner later noted that he regretted the weird competition between the films, but that is a far cry from sabotage. For instance, one aspect of the story that is often cited is that Tombstone had to go to Europe to get costumes, because Costner had bought up all the era-appropriate Western costumes for Wyatt Earp. There might be some truth to that, but again, Wyatt Earp was a long, epic film, so of course he bought a lot of costumes. Costner's film also had a much larger budget, nearly 3 times the size of Tombstone's budget. So, of course he was able to buy more costumes. When the Smashing Pumpkins tried to get costumes for their Edwardian music video for Tonight, they found it very difficult to find any costumes, since James Cameron had already acquired all the Edwardian costumes for his epic film, Titanic. Was James Cameron trying to sabotage Smashing Pumpkins? Or was he a guy making an epic film that needed tons of period clothing? I don't think there's any real evidence of Costner tried to do anything but do a competing film, and we've all just been colored by Jarre's surprisingly candid take on the situation, and it sounds cool to say sabotage instead of just competed. Again, Costner likely did know that him doing a Wyatt Earp film would make a rival Wyatt Earp film hard to get made, but that's not sabotage. That's just competition.